Welcome back. In today's video, we will solve coordinate geometry questions involving parallel and perpendicular lines. Before we begin, make sure you are familiar with how to write the gradient of a line that is perpendicular to a given line. For example, the line L passes through the points 5, -1 and is perpendicular to the line y is equal to 2x minus 3. Write down the gradient of the line L. Gradient of this line is 2 and the gradient of line L is negative 1 upon 2. Whenever there are two lines perpendicular to each other, their gradients are negative reciprocal to each other. Perpendicular lines have gradient negative reciprocal to each other. If it is positive, then it is to be negative. If it is 2, it is to be 1 upon 2. If it is minus 1 upon 4, then the line which is perpendicular to this line will have the gradient 4. Here it is minus sign, it will be positive sign. Here it is 1 upon 4, reciprocal of it is 4. Now we will do gradient of different lines. This is horizontal line. Gradient of horizontal line is 0. Why it is 0? If we consider 2 points here, if this is one of the point where x value is 2 and y value is 4. So it is 2, 4. Another point which we can consider over here on this line is 4, 4. If we'll take out gradient, gradient is equal to y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. 4 minus 4 upon 4 minus 2, which is 0 upon 2. So it is 0. Gradient of vertical line is undefined. M is undefined. Why it is undefined? If we consider 2 points here, if suppose we consider this point, and the coordinates at this point are 2, 2, and at this point it's 2, 4. So when we will take out gradient, y2 minus y1 is 2 minus 4, x2 minus x1 is 2 minus 2, so it is minus 2 upon 0. And whenever there is 0 in the denominator, we say it is undefined. So the gradient of horizontal line is 0 and the gradient of vertical line is undefined. If the line is drawn like this, then the gradient of this line is positive. If we consider 2 points, one here, another one here, and the coordinates here are 2, 2, and here 6, 4. And if we take out its gradient, y2 minus y1, 2 minus 4 upon 2 minus 6. So it is minus 2 upon minus 4, which is equal to 1 upon 2. So the gradient of the line like this is positive. When we have a line like this, then it has gradient negative. We say it is negatively sloped. M is equal to, if we take two coordinates here, we have here 6, 2 and here 2, 6. So the gradient of this line is to be y2 minus y1, which is 2 minus 6 upon 6 minus 2. So 2 minus 6 is minus 4 and 6 minus 2 is 4. So the gradient is equal to minus 1. Now we will discuss about parallel lines and perpendicular lines. Whenever two lines are parallel, their gradients are equal. Like whatever the gradient of this line, same is the gradient for this line. So the gradient of parallel lines is same. Now perpendicular lines, gradient of perpendicular lines are negative reciprocal to each other. It means if the gradient of this line is m1 and the gradient of this line is m2, then m1 multiplied by m2 is equal to minus 1. So this is the property which we can use to solve different questions related to coordinate geometry. If in case the gradient of this line m1 is 1, then the gradient of the second line m2 is minus 1 because the gradient of this line is positive. So the gradient of this line is to be negative. It has gradient 1. A reciprocal of 1 is 1. If m1 is 1, then m2 is minus 1. If m1 is equal to 3 upon 4, if the gradient of this line is 3 upon 4, then the gradient of this line is to be minus 4 upon 3, negative reciprocal. Let's do some questions related to parallel and perpendicular lines. Two vertices of a rectangle ABCD are 3, minus 5 and B 6, minus 3. We have to find the gradient of CD. As it is a rectangle, if we draw a rectangle, if suppose this is A, B, C, and D. All the angles are right angle. We know AB is parallel to CD and BC is parallel to AD and they are equal in length as well. AB is perpendicular to BC, BC is perpendicular to CD and CD is perpendicular to AD. We have to find out the gradient of CD. We only know the coordinates of A and B. So if we will take out the gradient of AB, then we can take out the gradient of CD as well. Because both the lines are parallel and parallel lines have same gradient. So AB is parallel to CD. So gradients are same. We can take out the gradient of AB using the coordinates. Gradient of AB is equal to minus 3 plus 5 upon 6 minus 3. which is equal to 2 upon 3. CD is parallel to AB, so the gradient of CD is same as gradient of AB, which is 2 upon 3. Now we have to take out gradient of BC. BC is perpendicular to AB. To AB. So their gradients are negative reciprocal to each other. So gradient of BC is negative, as it is positive, so it is to be negative. It is 2 upon 3, so it is to be 3 upon 2. So gradient of BC is negative 3 upon 2. Another question in which A is minus 1 comma 5, B is 5 comma 2, and C is 1 comma 1. ABCD is a trapezium. AB is parallel to DC and angle BAD is 90 degree. Find the coordinates of D. If we plot this on grid, then minus 1 comma minus 5 is over here, which is point A. 5 comma minus 2 is here, which is B. And 1 comma 1, which is C, is over here. Now we have to find out the coordinates of D. If we join these points with a line, we will get a shape which is trapezium. Now, we have to find the coordinates of D, and as we know, AB is parallel to CD. So the distance between these two lines would be same, and BAD is 90 degree. It means that there is a right angle here. We will draw a line perpendicular to this. Then we can join this line with this point. So we have got a trapezium. We have to find out the coordinates of this D. We don't have to find out using the graph. We have to do some working to find out these coordinates. We'll consider these coordinates as x, y. To find out the coordinates of point D, we have to consider parallel and perpendicular line concept. Here, CD is parallel to AB, so their gradients are same. We will equate the gradients of both the lines. In the same way, AD is perpendicular to AB. So the gradient of perpendicular lines are negative reciprocal to each other. First of all, we will take out gradient of AB because the gradient of CD is same as gradient of AB, and gradient of AD is negative reciprocal to gradient of AB. So gradient of AB is equal to minus 2 plus 5 and 5 plus 1, which is equal to 3 upon 6, which is equal to 1 upon 2. Gradient of CD is equal to 1 upon 2. Now we will take out gradient of CD using the coordinates of C and D. So if we consider this as x2, y2 and this one as x1, y1, so y minus 1 upon x minus 1 is equal to 1 upon 2. We can do cross multiplication. 2y minus 2 is equal to x minus 1. So x is equal to 2y minus 1. We have got one of the equation here. Now we will form another equation using the gradient of AD. Gradient of AD is negative reciprocal to gradient of AB, so it is -2. Now we will take out gradient of AD using coordinates y plus 5 upon x plus 1 is equal to -2. We'll do cross multiplication. Y plus 5 is equal to minus 2x minus 2. So y is equal to minus 2x minus 7. Now we will substitute x from equation 1 to equation 2. So y is equal to minus 2 into 2y minus 1 minus 7. So y is equal to minus 4y plus 2 minus 7. So when we will take minus 4y on this side, it will become 5y is equal to minus 5. So y is equal to minus 1. Now we can take out the value of x by substituting this value of y in this equation, equation 1. So 2 into minus 1, minus 1. So x is equal to minus 2 minus 1, which is minus 3. So the coordinates of D are minus 1 comma minus 3. Let's do one more question. The midpoint of the line segment P minus 2 comma 3 and Q 4 comma minus 1 is M. The point C has coordinates minus 1 comma minus 2. Show that CM is perpendicular to PQ. If we have to show that CM is perpendicular to PQ, it means that the gradient of CM multiplied by the gradient of PQ is equal to minus 1. So we will take out the gradient of CM and the gradient of PQ. Before finding out the gradient, we have to find out the coordinates of M, which is the midpoint of the line joining P and Q. So midpoint of PQ we have already done this concept in the previous video. So we have to use this concept here. Midpoint of PQ is equal to minus 2 plus 4 upon 2, comma 3 minus 1 upon 2. So we have here minus 2 plus 4 is 2, 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 3 minus 1 is 2, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. So we have 1 comma 1. Now we have coordinates of P, which are minus 2 comma 3, coordinates of Q, which are 4 comma minus 1, C, which are minus 1 comma minus 2, coordinates of M are 1 comma 1. Now we have to take out the gradient of CM, which is equal to 1 plus 2 upon 1 plus 1. So it is 3 upon 2. Gradient of PQ minus 1 minus 3 divided by 4 plus 2, which is equal to minus 4 upon 6, which is finally equal to minus 2 upon 3. Now we will multiply these two gradients. By multiplying these two gradients, the result must be minus 1. So if we cancel out this 3 and 3, 2 and 2, we will get minus 1 here. So minus 1 is equal to minus 1, hence shown. Another question. The coordinates of 3 points are A, minus 4, comma 4, B, k, comma minus 2, and C, 2k plus 1, comma minus 6. Find the value of k if A, B, and C are collinear. Now, what are the collinear points? This is the line on which there are 3 points lying A, B, and C. A, B, C are collinear. It means that they are lying on the same line. So we can mark here A, that is minus 4, comma 4, B, k, comma minus 2, and C, 2k plus 1, comma 6. Now, these three lines are collinear. It means the gradient of AB is equal to gradient of BC and it is equal to gradient of AC. The gradient from A to B is same as the gradient from B to C and the gradient from A to C. These all gradients are same. Whenever there are collinear points, they are lying on the same line, means their gradient is same. To find out the value of k, we have to use gradient of AB is equal to gradient of BC. So m of AB is equal to m of BC. So for gradient of AB, we have minus 2 minus 4 divided by k plus 4 is equal to gradient of BC minus 6 plus 2 divided by 2k plus 1 minus k. Minus 2 minus 4 is minus 6 upon k plus 4 is equal to minus 4 upon k plus 1. We'll do cross multiplication. Minus 6k minus 6 is equal to minus 4k minus 16. Minus 6k and plus 4k is minus 2k. Minus 16 plus 6 is minus 10. So minus sign will be cancelled out. K is equal to 10 divided by 2, which is 5. Let's do a parts paper question in which the coordinates of 3 points are A, minus 2, comma 6, B, 6, comma 10, and C, P, comma 0 respectively. We have to find the coordinates of M, the midpoint of AB. So midpoint of AB is equal to minus 2 plus 6 upon 2, 6 plus 10 upon 2, which is equal to 6 minus 2 is 4 and 4 upon 2 is 2. 6 plus 10 is 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8. So the coordinates of midpoint of AB is 2, comma 8. So which are the coordinates of M? Given that CM is perpendicular to AB, find the value of the constant P. Coordinates of C are P, comma 0. Coordinates of M, which we have taken out, are 2, comma 8. Coordinates of A are minus 2, comma 6. And coordinates of B are 6, comma 10. As CM is perpendicular to AB, so we will be using the gradient formula. If two lines are perpendicular, then their gradients are negative reciprocal to each other, or gradient of CM multiplied by gradient of AB is equal to minus 1. For gradient of CM, we will do 8 minus 0 upon 2 minus p. For gradient of AB, 10 minus 6 divided by 6 plus 2 is equal to minus 1. 8 upon 2 minus 5 multiplied by 10 minus 6 is 4 upon 6 plus 2 is 8. We can cancel out this 4 and 4. We can multiply 2 minus p by minus 1. 4 is equal to minus 2 plus p. So p is equal to 6. Just a quick recap. If two lines are parallel, then their gradients are equal. If a line has a gradient of m, a line perpendicular to it has a gradient of minus 1 upon m. If the gradients of two perpendicular lines are m1 and m2, then m1 multiplied by m2 is equal to minus 1. If this helped you understand how to handle coordinate geometry questions involving perpendicular lines, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more quick and clear solutions. Thank you very much.